Hi there, and thanks very much for tuning into this week's Wheel and Anchor newsletter. As I mentioned in our newsletter last week, I'm very much looking forward to this coming Thursday, August the 8th, where we're having our 2021 trip planning webinar. The whole idea behind this is that I love to get input from our members on the destinations that we're looking forward to in 2021 and beyond. And so the idea behind this is it's a unique opportunity for you to provide your input on my ideas and to present your own ideas about the kinds of places that we go. We're going to cover, for example, South America. I know a lot of members have said, oh, I want to go to South America. But of course, South America is a big continent. There's lots of places to visit. I've been lucky enough to visit many of the countries in South America. And I think we're going to start, for example, with visiting the southern part of the continent with Argentina and Chile, one of my favorite cities in the world, Buenos Aires, the wine region of Mendoza. And we're going to explore a little bit the kinds of things that we might do and the kinds of places that we might visit while we're down in South America. Another one of the topics we'll be touching on, of course, is Antarctica. And I'm looking forward very much with our partners at Albatross, who are building a very cool new eco hybrid ship that is going to be launched at the end of next year, and we're going to be taking some rooms on that vessel. And I'm curious to hear what you think about that. Is Antarctica the type of place that you'd like to go to? I've been a couple of times. I've had a great time. I know our other members have enjoyed it thoroughly, and I want to see if it's the type of trip that you'd go on. Looking over to Southeast Asia, I'm looking at various programs throughout Indochina, that is Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, an overland trip, maybe the idea of like a backpacker trip, but of course not at a backpacker standard, rather at a higher standard, but spending more time in each of these places. Many of the other tours that I've looked at tend to run around with 1 or 2 nights in every place, and as most of you will know, that is not my philosophy of travel. And so I'm planning this wonderful trip, and I'd love to hear what you think about Southeast Asia. A lot of our members have also asked about the British Isles, England, Scotland, Ireland. Of course, we have a tour next year, Scotland by Sea, but of course there's so much more to see than just the coastline of Scotland. And I know that Ireland is one of these countries as well that many of our members have been once, and many would love to go back and perhaps see a different part of Ireland, perhaps the northern coast, or perhaps the northwestern coast out by Galway. So many places in that country, so many itineraries one could do just in the British Isles. So that's yet another place that we're going to explore. Africa is also on the agenda. We've had a great number of members ask for that. We're going to be going to South Africa at the end of next year or in early 2021. I'm just working on some programs there, and I'd like very much to get your input on what you'd like to do. Of course, everyone wants to go on safari, but there's so much more to a country like South Africa than just going on safari. And of course, Africa as a whole has a lot to offer. Up in the north, there's Morocco, which a number of members have also indicated interest in visiting. We're going to be going to Egypt in January. In fact, our trip is just about sold out. But there are countries as well in the central and eastern part of Africa, like Kenya and Tanzania, that are well worth a visit. So we're going to cover a few of those places as well. But what I'd also like to do in our webinar is talk a little bit about Canada, because that is one theme that has consistently come up. People want to see more of our own country. I'm heading out to the Maritimes next week and looking forward to meeting members all across Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador. And at the same time, I'm kind of interested because there's a lot of people from central Canada that have not really had a chance to explore much of our beautiful maritime provinces. I'm also looking at a program called Explore British Columbia. So for those in the east who perhaps have not familiarized themselves so much with what an incredible province British Columbia is, and many other things, perhaps going for a polar bear visit in Churchill, Manitoba, now that they've got that train link up and running. So I've got a few ideas on itineraries in Canada, and once again, the objective here is to get your input so that the trips at Wheel and Anchor are really member driven. That's what we're all about, is getting your input, getting your opinions, and translating that into some wonderful itineraries. So once again, that's happening this coming Thursday, August the 8th at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. I look forward to seeing you there. Please do come out and sign up for that webinar at the link below. And I look forward to speaking with those of you who are able to join us on that webinar, and failing which, I'll be coming back to you next week from Halifax, Nova Scotia. In the meantime, happy travels.